won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now
It's my third try. It's my third try. My third try. I did the intro without being on screen. I then started another intro on mute. It's all right. I was just complaining about my allergies I don't know if it's allergies or sickness, but fall weather is in the air, boys and girls. It's football season. We're here. We've made it to Friday. And we have a glorious weekend ahead of us here. Big weekend for football. Huge college football slate. A lot of games tonight. 5 games tonight. I'll talk about each of them. I got at least one play on every one of them. So we'll talk about those games. We've got the WNBA Finals. Game number 1 takes place tonight. First time ever. The leading scorer faces off against the leading assist maker in Las Vegas. We'll talk about that game. And we've got UFC 320 this weekend. So we'll talk UFC live stream for Saturday. We're going to start about 6:30 or so. Maybe 6. Yeah, probably around 6:30. I think let me see when the first fight's slated to start. Oh, it's like a fringe of a sneeze. It's like you got that, that feeling when you're about to sneeze. I've had that on my right nostril since last night. 6:15. The UFC wants to pop off tomorrow. Look at that. What did they add a new fight? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 fights they did. They added one back in. I think they call that edging. I don't know, man. It's like, I hope it's not a sickness. I hope I'm not getting sick. I haven't gotten sick in, wow. I had COVID once. I don't know if that counts. I had COVID before it was cool to have COVID, though. Like when everybody was doing it, I was I was out at that point. Much like the way I gamble. When everybody else is doing it, I'm doing something else. So I was an early adapter for COVID. Sitting there going, man, I can't even get out of bed. What the hell happened to me? I feel like I got hit by a bus. Nobody knew. They said it was the flu. What I know about last night was the embarrassment that are the LA Rams. But your boy spits facts. I'll never lie to you guys. At least not knowingly. If I read it on the internet and I say it to you guys, it's got to be true. It's on the internet. Turns out it's not true. It wasn't me lying. I was just reading it off the internet. And everything on the internet's true. But the Rams. What'd I tell you guys? What'd I tell you yesterday? It's important to track your action. I did tell you that. You should know that. And you do need to take some mini breaks to review where are you at. Because you don't want to go a whole season betting team totals only to find out you suck at betting team totals, right? You need to do little milestones. You got to establish milestones. I like to look at them like four times of the year, right? So ironically, we're in week 5 for the NFL, and through the first quarter of the NFL season, thought it made sense to stop and check. And what did we find out? Spreads don't matter, right? What did I tell you guys? They don't matter. And what did I say? Does that mean that San Francisco is going to go out there and win? Now, I didn't think San Francisco was going to win. Did I say it would surprise me? I think I was yes and no. But I did comment on that. I was on the wrong side with the teaser. I'll own it. I'll take it. Went to overtime. What are you going to do? You play to win the game. But as a lesson for everybody, 2 things I took away from this. 1, tease up. Probably don't tease down. Don't take a favorite and bring it down. I knew that a year ago. It's funny, I was talking to Jeff about it last night on the stream, and also, don't be the first guy to the party. Now, some people will come back, and they will come back to you and say, "Well, if you keep betting on Monday over the long haul of your betting career, you'll be more profitable." I don't know, dude. Listen. Let's define a them and us strategy, right? This is what makes us different. Anybody that tells you got to start betting the NFL on Sunday and Monday for the following week, we just established that points don't matter. And think about this. Let's say you're a fucking creepy, degenerate scumbag. Let's just hypothetically say. And let's say that your degenerate scumbag nature is, I don't know, robbing a bank. You never hear about it anymore, do you? Nobody robs banks anymore. Why? This right here. There's cameras, technology. They can trace your footsteps and put you together with every single building on the fucking street, all the way back to wherever you went. They can trace every single step that you take from cameras all over the place. My point is this: technology, social media, just access in general to information. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 days to get that information. So don't be the first one to the party. There's no prize in being the first one to a loser. Rather take that time to make better decisions, let that line get funky, and then bet it, because the spreads don't matter, right? Now, and they do matter, right, in determining the winner or the loser. But as I showed you guys yesterday, and the NFL specifically, I'm speaking, it's just not a big deal. And so let that be a lesson. Anybody that tells you you got to bet on Monday and Tuesday for the following Sunday is doing 2 things. 1, they're not trying to build their bankroll daily, because they're going to tie up that money for 5 days, probably only to catch a loser, because they're the first ones to get the bad number, or the first ones to get the bad play, right? And so now you got no money to play for the rest of the week because you tied up all your money for that Sunday play that doesn't matter anyways, that you should have done till at least Saturday. And now you're sitting on your hands for 5 days. So that's them. This is us. This is what we do here. And we do it on a regular basis. We've been doing it on a goddamn winning rate for over a year and a half at the 6 p.m. time slot. They've done everything. They've tried to compete. They've stolen the names. But just because you have it doesn't mean you know how to use it. And that's what we've done here with Sports Money and Pregaming on a regular basis, is used tools, technology, and experience. 3 legs of a wooden stool, as they say, to get a big seat on there for your bankroll. Let your bankroll sit right on that stool, and hopefully feel a little bit more confident in the decisions that are being made. And look, again, we didn't crack Fort Knox open last night. We did gain a unit. So I see the comment about don't bet on standalone games. I disagree fully. I don't think you bet a traditional standalone game as you would the 1 p.m. slate in the NFL. I think there's a difference between the two. Hear me out. Tough when everybody's firing in. and they're picking their sides and they're picking their totals and they're picking their noses, right? That's fine. Where have we been excelling? The prop market. And once again, last night, we crushed it. Kyren Williams, 50 plus. Kyren Williams, anytime touchdown. Minus 108 was the official number. Was it sexy? No. Did it feel good when he got it to end zone? Yeah. It's perfect. So, there's a prop cash. How about the Kyren Williams double down on his touchdown and Puka Nacua touchdown? Why? Because Puka Nacua touches the ball 11 times a game. Cashed. Cash for us at plus 215, give or take. So, that one said, we crushed the prop market. Now, sadly, the Boston Red Sox can suck the full D. They got swept 4-0. That did not go over 7.5. It was a beatdown. They didn't show up. They no-showed. And I hate that I started the NHL preseason with a loss. We took the Flyers L square on the old chinny chin chin. But hammered that college football game. Hammered it. Plus 2.5, New Mexico State. They busted them boys up 37-10. I told you exactly how that game was going to go. Mismatch. One team's offense and chunks the ball through the air. The other team's defense sucks. They can't run the ball, and they're going to get blown out. And that's what happened. Nasty Nate says, Hammercock. Make it Hammercock great again. Now, Survivor underway. Hopefully you guys didn't take the ramps. Damn it. In our weekly pick'em, I took San Francisco. Now, that was obviously an accident. It was a happy accident because I was sitting here talking about how I just can't see San Francisco winning. But sometimes when you get in these bigger pools, you have to go contrarian. So my point is, don't take the weekly looks as plays. If you see somebody that's in a circa entry, for example, I wouldn't necessarily follow those picks. I'm not saying don't follow those picks. We want to use all the tools and information that's at our disposal. But sometimes guys are fading the public. They're zagging when everyone else is zigging. And that's part of their strategy to go out there and win. That's why folks get multiple Survivor entries. They're going to take a shit play when everyone else is on the other side. So that being said, we got ourselves some situations here. Survivor in play. I'm still in play. I think 10% of the pool got knocked out again yesterday with the Rams pick. So we're going to be down to about 5,000 out of almost 10,000 entries. We're down to 5,000. Also, NFL Survivor Survivor number 2 pops off. So second chance Survivor entry in play. Get ready, get set for a big NFL weekend here. I'm fired up. I think we've been doing all right with the NFL. 25, 26 units. Got to get ourselves moving. Now, there's some spots that we have to get moving in tonight. We are precisely, and I forgot to put this one on the screen, so my bad. We are precisely, let me pull it up. Apply a filter. We are precisely 4 units down in Canadian football. 4 of them. 4.04 to be exact. So we got to fix that. Sharp, respected betting information came across the pike. I'm simply going to tail it. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, the old Roughriders against the Ottawa Redblacks. We talked about the Redblacks. Now, look, clearly down 4 units, probably the worst sport. They haven't put as much commitment to it, haven't put as much effort behind it, but there's a huge gap out there in these numbers right now. Huge gap. Some books have the Rough Riders as high as -6. So this is where it's going to come down to crucial, that you do your line shopping. Because some books have Saskatchewan at -3.5. There's some 5s out there. There's some 5.5s out there. There's some 6s out there. Let's fucking sneeze. It's like right there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's sick. I don't know if it's an allergy. I hope it's just an allergy. It's fucking annoying. That's what it is. And I'm trying to validate. Hang on. It looks like 5 is the best number we're going to be able to get right now. So I'm going to lay the 5 with Saskatchewan. Saskatoon. Simply sharp, respected betting information coming across the pike. It's a bet that I placed. I want to get that. I want to work. I don't know how much time there's left in this college football or this Canadian football season, but I know there's enough for us to go out there and try to chip away and close the gap, right? Try not to have any losing seasons in any sports, but it's going to happen. I guess at best it happens in Canadian football. Look, it's just hard not to agree that just simply put the better team are the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, the Ottawa Red Blacks. 2-0 straight up, coming off a bye. That is the case versus these Rough Riders. Problem is, they lost to the Lions, the Blue Bombers, and they got Montreal coming up next. So this is the look-ahead spot, I believe, which is why I think the Sharps are betting away on Saskatoon. Saskatchewan. So that's the way we're going to go. It's right there. All right, so that's how we're going to open the show, you guys. Do me this solid. If you haven't done so yet, show some support, show some love. Smash that thumbs up button. Need to get more of it. Need to grow this community. Want to bring in new faces. New faces coming with new ideas, new angles, new trends, which means that we can bet more spots and win bigger bets. So everyone's got to be a part of this thing. We're growing like a fucking wildflower. We need that thumbs up button, though. Got to continue the pace. Let's keep her moving. We're in the big sports season. Take a second if you haven't done so and smash the thumbs up. I got to update the slide. As a matter of fact, appreciate our silver and gold members. Some of you may be saying, what is the silver and gold option? Silver and gold option is a way to show more support to the Sports Money Squad. We are not big business supported. We are viewer supported. So we need you guys. We need you to show up and show out. And for those that dig in a little bit to say, hey, we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you guys for doing it. Here's a couple of bucks. I share extra plays that are not found here on Pregaming, plays that maybe are in the middle of the afternoon as we crush baseball this week. Saturday's college football slate. The 8.5 units that we gained on Sunday are all things that are beneficial for silver and gold members. So if you haven't done so, consider that. Think about giving us a little bit of support, being viewer supported here. We certainly appreciate it. Every dollar counts. We got overhead. We got bills to pay. All this stuff, all the streaming technology, all the packages that we utilize, all the things that we bring to the table with the trends, all that stuff costs. And we're trying to load share. That's simply what it comes down to. So appreciate all you guys that are members either at Winnable or here on the Sports Money Network. Put those plays in the chat. Let's talk about what you guys are on. Let's get going. Everyone likes to talk about what they won, but not necessarily putting it in the chat early that we can take advantage of it. It's kind of like a shithead move, by the way. Love to see people win. But put it in the chat. I know for a fact there's some people out there that will put that they won this play. That nobody knew. Nobody saw it. Wasn't posted in any chat. Nobody could play it. Do you really need to hear good job? Are you betting with real money? Put them in the chat. Let's see what you guys are involved with there. Talk sports with JT's here. He's got Western Kentucky at plus 2.5. Is that the money line and the plus 2.5? No, plus 2.5. Minus 105. Gotcha. Shout out to Nunya. It's freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. Yes, sir. Laker boys in the house likes Western Kentucky money line. Nunya says Hilltoppers, you say. Laker boy likes New Mexico money line. Shout out to Scott Blaster. He says Delaware by margin. Laker boy says Delaware's horrid. Let's find this money, mofos, says Nunya. And then I was muted. Shout out to all you guys, though, recognizing that I was muted. Shout out to Justin McKelvey, Blake M., Michael Johnson in the house. Appreciate all you guys, man. Thanks for stepping in. David's here. Dana Delp says, sit the Indiana basketball scrimmage. Cream versus Crimson and watching sports money. Shout out to you, Dana Delp. That sounds fun. Michael Johnson says, go Doyers. Red October, baby. Then he says, I kicked its ass twice. I think I made it stronger. It's just straight. It's just. There's the scumbag play of the day right there. It's in, you guys. Get your pens and papers out. Delaware -3. Michael Johnson says, don't bet on the standalone games. Yeah. I like the props. I like to fuck around, find out. I don't mind throwing $10 on a first touchdown prop to pick up 300-400. Because I know when I pick up my unit size, when I pick up my win, $10 is like the rounding error on it. So it doesn't matter to me. Now, those are like 40, 50 to ones, right? It's a different story than that -110. You know, those are usually, you go in there with the unit. But you're betting props. It's a different game that you're watching. Same game, just a different style, different feel. Jerry Davis dropping a boatload of his action. Brown, Columbia, Delaware, South Florida, West Virginia, San Diego State. My sides for tonight under in the West Virginia and San Diego State games. Magnifico's in the house. What up? Michael Johnson says banks don't have cash. Magnifico says Tampa Bay money line. He likes it. Justin McKelvey's giving Skunt a shout out. Jerry Davis says, I always bet on Sunday and Monday where I see value. Like my Vandy plus 14. Like a lot better than 10.5. Fuck yeah. Plus you get the feeling of where the market's going. Appreciate all you guys, man. Let's go. Michael Johnson says 85% of the games, the spread doesn't matter. Facts. Damn right. Stop Geo's here. It's itching. It's running. It's sneezing. AOD's here checking in. Michael Johnson says that shit was suspect last night and last Sunday. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what you think was suspect about it. It was suspect at a shit team with everybody missing. You know, but in terms of the game plan, what I did say was you got to make this San Francisco team one-dimensional, shut down their running game so they have to pass it, and then let Mac Jones go out there and shit the bed. I did talk about Mac Jones passing for over 33 attempts. I think he had 50, 49 or 50. But I didn't realize the San Francisco 49ers haven't had a rushing touchdown all year. My bad. That kind of changed the game. I would have shut the air game down. Forced him to run the ball. Let CMC hurt himself. But hindsight is always 20/20, is it not? Blake M says he agrees with early betting. Players can get hurt in practice during. Yeah, exactly. And he says, I don't sell my picks because I make money on parlays. No one cares about MMA and football only parlays unless they dive deep. Are you saying nobody cares about MMA and football parlays? Or MMA and football? I don't know. I do. I care about them both. Then he says, I had to completely stop betting baseball and basketball to focus up, but I love sharing my plays in here. For those that want to tail. Talk Sports with JT says, Nakua under 95.5 yards cashed. Nasty Nate's talking about the old Abercock. Talk Sports with JT, New Mexico State plus 2.5. Cashed it? Yes, sir. Let's go. None of you shouting out roller rinks. There's a roller rink not too far from my house. that we used to go to as kids, but I went to like my nephew's birthday party there. Like, I don't know. It was probably like 15 years ago now. This is a fucking dump. SF Niners says, what we doing? Ram smash bot. San Francisco Niners, Saskatchewan money line will fix that. Michael Johnson said, he said spread doesn't matter. Well, spread doesn't, NFL. Just want to be clear, we're talking about the NFL. Philly Eagle Flyer says Penguins plus 1.5 over 5.5. Shout out to Philly Eagle Flyer. Best damn name in the business. Good to see him rocking and rolling. Skunk Blaster. Scumbag number 2 are on the Canucks. The Canucks. The Knucklehead, says Philly Eagle Flyer. Jerry Davis says, I heard Sharp's been moving Ottawa down all week. Nathan Serta says, the Red Snatch. Let's go. Michael Johnson's done. Peter Gracias in the house. He says, happy Friday. Vodka drinks are flowing. Shout out to you, my guy. Let's go, Peter Gracia. Justin McKelvey says, a little support goes a long way. Damn right it does, my friend. Plant-based says, I guess there's such things as sore winners. Who's a sore winner? Chosen One likes Western Kentucky, New Mexico. DJ Hardy likes Western Kentucky over 61. Michael Johnson's got San Diego State -6. Jay Main's got Fields 200 plus free money. Cash alert. Nuke got Saskatchewan at -3.5 this morning. Nuke! What up, Nukey? That's a good dude right there. Nuke worker. Shout out to him. Peter Grassi says, so wish MLB Division Series was tonight. Me too. Michael Johnson says, hit mine last night, 20-1. Good for you. I had one leg that missed, and it was the Nakua first quarter over 1.5 catches. Fucked right off the gate. Anyhow, let's go. Cedric's here. Jay Main's got Pitt over 6.5. Gary Farron. What's up, Gary? It's good to see you, Gary. Hope you're doing well. Let's go. Justin McKelvey says, hope y'all bet Mercury +3 tonight. If not, I'd be worried. Michael Johnson says, Mikey, you get an NFA future for Cup. No. I will make one prediction. Maybe 2. I'll be looking at it this tonight's a big cap for the weekend night. I wish I could fucking sneeze already. God damn, it's annoying. It's like making the back of my eyeball twitch. You know how that little passage, the nasal passage runs in your eye? Fucking it's right there. Just sneeze already. Justin McCauley says, I don't understand how some names be in the chat every day. I come, but yet not members. I've been a member for 13 months. Rarely make shows. Appreciate you, Justin. There's Lamont Williams. Good for Lamont Williams showing up, checking out with us, man. Appreciate all you guys. Let's go. Let's get to work. I got just a rundown of options for you guys here tonight. Let's get to it. It's going to be like one of those moments where the sneeze comes and I probably won't be relieved. I'll probably be disappointed. Like, really? I waited all that time for this? All right, guys, we're going to talk about this college football slate. We've got the single WNBA game, and then we'll get up out of here, put a bow on the show, and get everybody on their way to a big weekend. Remember, we're going to be live. We're going to be streaming. We're going to be betting. We're going to be sweating the UFC. I gave you guys a little intro yesterday on the UFC, the betting style of the UFC. To reiterate, just quickly, because I love it. I love the combat sports, and the thing I love the most is the dopamines get cranking. You know what I mean? Because it's 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. You got 14 fights, 14 opportunities to crack a plus 800. Maybe you parlay a couple of them together and it gets going. But because it's boom, 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 you got to think about it. One UFC stream is equivalent to 2, maybe 1.5 football games, right? Football games, what, 3.5 hours? Say, argue overtime and all that other shit, right? 3.5 hours. Just call it 3.5 hours. UFC stream, 6 hours. 14 bets, 6 hours. 1.5 football games, 6 hours. Think about that as you're allocating your units. Some big bettors burn out. They lose too much money and they can't stick around. It's not like a traditional sporting event. You can't go out there and fire $5,000 on every single fight and take dogs at the same time. Dogs are only winning at 27% rate in the UFC. So on a 14 fight card, do the math. We can see, what is the math? Three dogs should win on the UFC card. Think about that as you're deciding to play the dog on every single UFC event. Now, what you do, knowing the favorites are winning at over 75% clip, is you look at how are they going to win. Prop, rounds, method of victory. And that's where those become plus 500s, plus 600s, plus 800s. Going back to thinking about your bankroll, our 14 fights. If you're betting $100 a game and you bet a football game, first half full game, it's $200. First half of the following game is $100. That's $300. If you're doing that, $300 should effectively be the bankroll you're committing to that 14 fight UFC card. Then you pick the plays you like the most. Then you find the fighters that are priced out through the roof and you figure out how they're going to win. And you dial it back. Maybe it goes a quarter unit on a plus 500. It's okay. It's not going to hit every time. But when it does, you score. That's the way it's got to be. And some guys will be like, well, you don't have to bet on every UFC fight. I do. I like it. Because I know when I hit my bomb, when I hit my play, I look at these smaller plays and these parlays as rounding errors. Now you have to decide exactly how much you're betting to treat it like a rounding error. Right? You can't be betting $100 parlays and $100 spots and thinking, oh, fuck. Well, I'm pretty good. No, it can't be like that. It's got to be, think about your big ones, your 10 to 1s, your 15 to 1s, your 20 to 1s. Maybe your investment is just enough to win a unit, not wager a unit, to win a unit. That's where it becomes a rounding error. It's a lot easier to make up a $5 loss on a $100 better. It's a rounding error, truly. A plus 105 knocks that out with no problem, and you're still moving forward, growing your bankroll. So anyhow, I digress. We're talking about football tonight. I was just trying to give some time for this goddamn sneeze to come out of me, and it won't. It just won't. 78% of the bets are on the Delaware Blue Hens. 70% of the cash are on the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. This line, that's the money line. This line's gone from minus 128 to minus 134. This line's also increasing. It's moving right now as we speak on the total. 62 and a halfs are out there. 42% of the bets, 86% of the cash are on this over. Red Rover. Why is everyone so confident this game is going over? Here's the deal. Delaware Blue Hens, new to the Conference USA. Move this away for a second. However, you'll see 1-0 to start their Conference USA experience out. And the problem that a team like Western Kentucky has this year over previous years, their quarterback's not very good this year. Western Kentucky is a sling it, run it around the yard, put points up on the board type of squad. They have been historically for a number of years now. But this year's quarterback just ain't him. So he can sling it, though. There's no doubt about it. And I think that's where the over kind of came into me with this thing. These defenses, maybe not so strong and confident, but they're scoring offenses. That's the big deal with these two squads out there. So, look, Delaware's offense, second in scoring in the Conference USA. I think this is a home squad. It's a first time for an FBS program. Remember, just came into FBS. They used to play shit schools. They used to play Delaware State Hornets. Now they're playing big schools. And Western Kentucky in the Conference USA is one of the biggest there is. So at the end of the day, for me, I looked at this and thought, boy, what a fucking motivation spot here. It's really your first divisional Friday game under the bright lights. Now, we know in some of the major schools, the Friday night light games tend to go under. We'll talk about a couple of those later on in the card. But I thought from this vantage point, from this perspective, with these two teams, with these capable offenses and lack of defenses, they should be able to get it going. The big advantage I have on the Delaware side is they run that kind of run that three-headed offense out there, right? They kind of run that. It's not quite the triple option, but it's like a hybrid version of it. So it makes it very tricky for teams, especially with a team that's just coming into the conference that people haven't seen before, that have the weapons and depth to be able to go out there and perform that triple option type offense. That's a tricky thing to block. And so for everyone that thinks Delaware's ass, I would second guess that. I don't know that they're ass. I think that the assumption is Western Kentucky's just better. And the thing you're missing this year is there's a step back. This quarterback. Look, they had the Bailey Zappies, the Zach Kitleys. This offense isn't the same. They've only scored over 41 points one time. And that was against who? Those shitbag Sam Houston Bearcats that we bet against last night. So, I think, look, this is a spot. They can still put up points. Their offense just isn't clicking in the same efficiency that it has in years past. Now, that doesn't mean by the end of the year they won't get going, but Western Kentucky's still a favorite to win the conference. That's a big motivation spot on Friday night for Conference USA at home under the bright lights. Can their defense save them? They haven't given up over 25 points a game, but one time in this 5-game stretch that they've had out there. So I'm banking on no. I'm banking on the answer is no. I think there's just too many good players. There's too much depth. And again, that unique option offense is going to be tricky. They don't just have a quarterback and a running back that can effectively do it. They've got multiple quarterbacks that get out there. And so you don't know who's tossing the ball, where it's coming from. And that just creates a lot of uncertainty and unknown. We'll start this card off with a double dip. And that's the double dip. Oldie's in the house. What up, Oldie? Jerry Davis says, I said I was on Columbia, but I played plus 9.5. It's currently plus 4.5. I think I'd be on Princeton at that number. Bet a unit that he doesn't get to sneeze out before the end of the show. I feel like, I feel like that just caused a trip. I haven't been, I promise. I haven't been partaking. Anyways, let's go on to Charlotte and South Florida. Did I lie? Did I lie? And I said I wasn't going to lie to you guys. All right, look, this game, I think I did. I don't have a play on this game. I'll just talk about it really quick. It's here. It's on the schedule. There's not a ton of schedule. I'll give you my assessment and I'll tell you why I didn't play it. 26.5 moved to 28. 48% of the bets are on the South Florida Bulls. I was going to say San Francisco. That always gets me in college basketball season. 48% on the Bulls. 91% on Charlotte 49ers. And that's got me stumped. A shit team that started out losing against the conference. And then he's shifting on the other gear. And it's Friday night under the lights for South Florida. The problem with South Florida I had is this is a step down, a huge step. Their conference in general is a step down in competition. They like to go out there and challenge the likes of Alabama and some SEC schools. And they come into conference and kick the shit out of everybody. 53.5 moved to 55.5. 66% of the bets, 92% of the cash are on the over. I can cough, no problem. I need to get a fucking sneeze out. Here's the problem with this game. The weather elements. So the donkeys that bet this thing on Monday and said, you got to take South Florida now because it's 27 and it'll be 29 by game time. Yeah, you're right. But did you know you were going to have 25 mile an hour sustained winds with fucking rain? And so that forces the game to go to the ground. And if it goes to the ground, I think that's where Charlotte can hang in there. It's just too many points in my estimation. 28 points. Does USF care if they win by 15, 20, 25 or 30? Does it matter to them? If they just get out of this game with another win, move themselves on to next week's competition. So we'll see how the weather plays out. I don't know if it's going to be an official spot or not. Obviously, I'm in New York. I'm not in Florida. I don't know what the fuck's going on down there. All I know is what I've read. And I know that USF's coming off the bye. So it just kind of gives me one of these kind of cracking heads with each other. The way I would look at this game, I would look at the under in this game. I would look at Charlotte, and I would look to live bet Charlotte in the second half. Because let's look at what should happen. As a minus 28-point favorite, USF should go out there and fucking steamroll these boys right off the gate at home on Friday night, but they're off the bye. Is there a little bit of rust? Is there a little bit of stress and tension for South Florida to stumble just a little bit? 18, 19 points in the first half means you got to be pretty goddamn efficient on every drive. Can't afford to have that one stinker. And then your defense is slow and sleepy. And if Charlotte pokes one in there, you're not covering that first half. Because I don't think this is a blowout. I think this is a run, get this game over with, get it done, short rest for Charlotte, get ready to go back in for the following weekend and get this thing rolling. Defensively, South Florida has really no problem stopping the pass, but the run is where they're challenged. In the trenches, down there in the dirt is where it gets ugly. So I would lean Charlotte. I would look to live bet Charlotte, and I would look to the under. I know the books need Charlotte, because everybody's betting USF because they're all saying how bad Charlotte is. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing false in that statement whatsoever. I just wonder, coming off the bye with the step back, you got to think about it. Who'd they play? Boise? Gentilist Boise, but still, that was a big game. Everyone was trying to figure out who they're going to be, and they thumped them 34-7 under. Then they played at Florida. They almost beat Florida outright. This is why I said they like to go play big schools. They did beat them outright, 18-16. They were getting 18.5 points. They thumped them. It stayed under. Then they got thumped against Miami. So again, another big school. Then they play South Carolina State. I mean, they're just out there, step down in class. Easy to overlook this game. So I don't have an actual play on this game. If I live bet it, I'll tweet something out so that you guys can see the live betting action as we roll. Kelly V's in the house here. USF windy and rain. First half weather. Mm-hmm. Stop Geo. USF minus 13.5. BYU minus 6.5. South San Diego. I'll get better. San Diego plus 3.5. I'll see you at the window. I like that sign off. See you at the window. I got to use that more. Trevor Davis has been raining off and on all day. Okay. Yeah. Nuke's going to pass on that one. Kelly V says West Virginia's horrible. BYU or pass? Just look at it. I felt bad. I said I wouldn't lie to you guys, and then I said I had to play in every game, and I don't. It's like I was just thinking, with the fringe of the sneeze, it's almost like if you're hurrying home because you partook at Taco Bell. You know what I mean? You got to get home. Like you don't want to move too quickly because you don't know what's likely to happen. All right. What's likely to happen is the sneeze, but I don't want it to go in. I want it to come out. Tricky game here. Tricky game. Yesterday, we bet on New Mexico State, plus 2.5. Sam Houston's a bad team. They're really bad. You saw it last night firsthand. They're just bad. And it was never in question. Flip side. Why is San Jose State laying 2.5 points? Now, the line opened at 3. It's dropped down to 1.5 now. 66% of the bets and 80% of the cash are on New Mexico. They're on the Lobos. Totals went from 55.5 to 58.5. 51% of the bets, 80% of the cash are on the over, and it's now 58.5, a 3-point move. Pretty big bets, pretty sharper bettors coming in on this over. And then you look at the money line, 73% of the bets are on San Jose State, but only 49% of the cash. So it's pretty split down the line. This line is trappy as fuck, isn't it? One side of me says San Jose State could win. They've had some tough breaks. 4 points away in their schedule from being 3-1 instead of 1-3. So it's misleading. And that's kind of why it kept me off the side. I mean, I lean New Mexico. The thing is, San Jose State's defense has just loose as a goose. And this is where I think this is where I think the game plan comes into play. You run the ball, you put them in the trenches, you beat them up, you drain the clock, and then you just, you hope that you don't get passed all over the yard. And look, the secondary, pretty good, 12th defensively for New Mexico. So you got a team that wants to run, and they're good at shutting down the ball, shutting down the pass. I don't know. I think this is a tricky spot with this New Mexico spot. Avocados from New Mexico, but I don't want to be in the San Jose State business. I just thought ultimately for me, this is 9-1. New Mexico got themselves a nice little under trend that they're running right now as well. So don't want to discount, don't want to take it for granted. I just thought this is a lower scoring affair. Full disclosure, not my favorite game, but I stayed off that Charlotte game, and I saw this thing move 3 full points. So I got to the point where I said, okay, that's enough for me now to start thinking about getting in on the other side. I just don't see the points. I don't know where they're going to come from. Now, ballsy, if you want to take the side, I would dog or pass the side. But we got San Jose State coming off of back-to-back overs. They just played Stanford. That was kind of a big one. Prior to, they had some Idaho. They got thumped by Texas. They got thumped by Central Michigan of all fucking teams. That's not a good team. They lost 16-14 to a MAC school. And New Mexico can go out there and tear their faces off. They lost at Michigan. Maybe you heard of them. Defending national champs. They covered. Then after a big exhale, after a big game, they lose to Idaho State, only to go back and beat UCLA outright as a dog, 35-10, at UCLA, by the way. And then they cover against New Mexico State at home, who we just talked about. New Mexico's now 3-2 overall, and they thumped on Sam Houston last night. So if you're going to play the ladder game or the competition game and schedule games, I think that the strength of schedule goes to New Mexico. And I think Spartans have a tough time generating offense. So give me the under. Give me the low total score in this game. What do you guys think? Nunny says, are we really going to win money on this one? Which one? Charlotte USF? I don't know if you're going to win money on that one. Justin McKelvey says, Delaware double result, plus 104 in his pocket. Kelly V says, folks, come on. After show, need NCAA football plays or NFL looks. Help the algorithm. Speaking of, want to remind you guys, that the polls are out there. Polls are sitting out there for you guys to generate some looks to try to beat the books. Our polls have been firing at over 68% win rate the last season. Big sports, big spots. They're free to check out. Want you guys to get involved because the more entries we have, you guys are so sharp that it creates a really nice wedge historically so that we can see where we're playing versus the market. And that's why we're winning at a high rate. Everyone contributes. We can see what those numbers aggregate to. We've seen some 50-50 spots. Maybe that means you find a different way to play the game, but it helps everybody. Oh, who's the best athlete that plays for New Mexico? I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't do a lot with the player prop market. I do have a player prop for tonight, if you guys are so inclined. But I can't play player props in New York State for college football. So I try to stay away from it. Not going to be my strong suit. But we'll see what happens there. Last game, no. I already gave you guys yesterday the Colorado State team total under. That game to me feels like a lot like the Kent State game will be against Oklahoma as well, by the way. So if you're looking to get a parallel or a counter reset, it comes down to what we talked about yesterday. And I know I'm out of turn because that game's 2 more down the line. But since I'm thinking about it, let's talk about it. And the reality for that one is, just like yesterday, you got a team that can stop a team defensively and chuck the ball all over the yard in San Diego State. And you got a team in Colorado that can't. And by the way, yeah, they're 1-3, but look at this San Diego State team. The counterpoint that they've got kind of going for them. Back-to-back home shutouts. Shutouts. No points scored at home yet this season. They won against Northern Illinois 6-3 last week. So their defense is stout. That's going to be the team total under for us. That's this one. As far as this BYU game, I double dip BYU tonight. I'm a little concerned about the full game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I keep saying it. You guys might think I am. This line opened up at 18.5. It's gone to 20.5 now. It's fucking sky high. 42% of the bets, 69% of the cash on West Virginia. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if West Virginia won this game. West Virginia, I like West Virginia. First of all, I've been to a game in Morgantown. So anytime I get to a game, I become fond of the environment. 51.5 is the total. It's dropped down to 47.5. It's on its way to 46.5. Here's why. Here's what's going on. BYU's got a defense. West Virginia has had a tough time completing drives this season. If you look down their scoreboard, their scoring lines, you got a situation where the defense for West Virginia should be able to go out, or I'm sorry, the defense for BYU should be able to go out there and play lockdown, drag out. The biggest component, and this is where I went with the first half. If you don't know about West Virginia, Khalil Wilkins is his name. He's a redshirt freshman quarterback making his first start against a BYU team that creates havoc. They're 24th in the nation in havoc, making shit happen and explode defensively. They're geared and based on putting pressure on teams, creating disruption in the process and the pattern. And I think you're going to go on the road in foreign territory on a Friday night against a ranked opponent with a freshman redshirt quarterback? Now, on top of that, BYU's great at the things that West Virginia's not, like finishing drives. They're 14th overall ranked in finishing drives. They get great field position, and they stymie teams with field position. This is a bad matchup for West Virginia. That being said, it does concern me that this thing's gotten as high as 20.5. They should thump them. BYU should go out there and absolutely boat race these guys. But I do believe BYU can at least get off to a fast start. The thing I like about this first half, so sometimes you're looking to break the number down, right? There's 11.5s out there now on this first half, and the lines haven't fully adjusted from these 10.5s across the books. So make sure you do shop this one. I don't know that point will matter anyways at the end. I just think this is a 2-touchdown first half for BYU. And like I said, West Virginia struggles to finish off drives. I think you're going to get fucking boat raced. And I think that the problem here, how many points does BYU really need to score if West Virginia can't get on the board? Let's say West Virginia goes out there and it's 14-3 in the first half, 17-3 in the first half. Scripted play brings them down the field. They kick a field goal. And then that rookie quarterback can't do shit after that, right? You make your adjustments at halftime. You let your starters prepare for the second half. You let them go out there for one more drive. Let's say they put another touchdown on the board. At that point, your BYU, you're nationally ranked with playoff aspirations. You got to give your second stringers some chance to get out there and get some game time, because if they go into the big college football playoffs and somebody gets hurt, you don't want their first time on the field being under the bright lights against a team like Alabama. And Brian Smith says BYU's not running it up against anyone. I can't trust them to cover big numbers. It's kind of what I'm thinking. All right. That covers that. That covers that. Last game we got for us in the W. The W. Got the finals going on right now. We've had a really nice WNBA season, I believe. Let me see. Let me see what we're looking at here in the W. W. We're up 19 units this year in the WNBA. It's fucking amazing. Who would have thought? And so with that vantage, I'm going to go out there and crank some fucking heads here. I told you guys, this is the situation where we've got the number one scorer in Wilson, and the number one assist leader on the other side. First time in history that these two will have met in this type of capacity. So pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. But that means I want to double dip. But I'm only double dipping in reference to the side. You know, I think this is a revenge-oriented opportunity. You know, the last 3 times these two teams met, the Mercury got busted up. Think about the evolution of the Aces, right? We talked about early in the season, back-to-back champs, kind of tread off the tires. Everyone was hurt. Vegas was still pricing them like they were the free. I know the Liberty won last year, but you know, they're still pricing them like they were an elite powerhouse, and they kind of had the Golden State Warrior syndrome. They got healthy. They started beating up on teams, and they've been continuing to beat up on teams all the way through the playoffs. Kudos and credit to them being there. They're the home team. So Friday night home under the bright lights of Las Vegas, that's certainly something. They had some scares against the Indiana Fever. And I think that at some point, a team like the Mercury, who went out there and absolutely thumped the Minnesota Lynx. You know, you'll say that first game, they got busted up 82-69. You know what, though? Their road to get to the playoffs, they had the Liberty, defending champs. They had the Minnesota Lynx. That first game, Minnesota plays like the best WNBA defense of anybody at home. Hard to argue it. They only put up 69 points the first game. They made adjustments. They went out there as a 7.5-point dog in game number 2. They won outright by 6 points. And they never looked back. They thumped the Lynx twice in their own barn. They get a couple days rest, and now they're trying to exact revenge. Teams in this position with this line functionality are a 9-1 position to exact revenge. That's the Mercury in this spot, plus 3.5. I'm going to take the first half, too. Realistically, I think they can win this game outright. And I'm good enough to, I'm willing to put a stake on this thing to say, give me the first half in the full game. That's the way we're going to do it. That's the bow on the show, you guys. Get ready, get set. Tomorrow, a big day of sports action. Appreciate everybody checking in with us here, doing our thing, doing what we do. Good luck to you, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, live 9 a.m., the morning steam with Ramon Scott. Catch the first look out of Las Vegas. See what the sharps are betting on. See what Ramon has to say about the game breakdowns. Does them all. I don't know if you're going to do them all for college football, but it'll be interesting to see. That being said, we'll be back, though, probably start around 5:45-ish. Get you guys caught up on the college football action, Major League Baseball action, and any other action that's out there. We'll talk more about the UFC. Get those cards ready tonight. So get set. Have yourselves a great night. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button on the way out the door. And much love. Appreciate all you guys coming and doing that thing with us. Have yourselves a glorious evening. Shout out to the entire chat that's here doing this thing. Good luck if you're tailing. If you're fading, let me know in the chat. Love to see that in the post comments. That helps us with the algorithm. And we're continuing to grow on a daily basis. So good luck to you guys. Have fun tonight. Careful with your bankrolls, and we'll be back to fire.